So, Coach.
Hello.
Even what ultimately led to Kevin not being able to play, whether it was bruising, swelling, or what did the medical team see that made the decision?
Yeah, I think the bone bruise is the worst part about it. Like I said, they did all the treatment and rehab and pushed some swelling out, but the pain from the bone bruise is the main thing and limited mobility.
Who will your starters be tonight?
Same as last game.
Okay, and then just what does the mindset become with no Kevin tonight, the game plan, and how do you guys move forward?
Yeah, more of the same. I mean, we did some things really well last game. I did some things good enough to win, obviously. And, for our guys, this is, going to be 3 out of the 4 games now without him in the playoffs. And some ups and downs, but like I said, outside of the ending, we played some of our better basketball, more consistent basketball of the series, especially in the last 3 quarters. And so we kind of lean on some things we did this year and, go back to that Golden State Phoenix back-to-back without Kevin and how we won those 2 games and played really good basketball without him. So not saying guys are accustomed to him not being out there because he played so many games this year, but we've proven we can do it.
Coach, you've been around Kevin for a very long time. You've seen his work ethic and you know how he feels about playing basketball. What was the conversation like when you had to tell him that he was going to be shut down for the remainder of the playoffs?
Well, it wasn't me that told him, but talking to him about it is tough. When you play the amount of games he has this year, really 1 game due to the ankle injury, and playing the minutes that he did, and competitor that he is, and commitment that he's made to the team with a lot of guys being in and out this year. And so unfortunate for us and him that he's missing this time of year, but it's hard, no doubt, for a guy that wants to play and that plays as much as he does. To be out at this point in the season is very tough, and so feel bad for him and our team in general. But like I said, we've proven we can do it without him, and just look back on last game and what we how we let it slip away as proof of that.
And over the last couple of days, how hard did you see him trying to work to get back on the court?
Yeah, every minute he's in the facility and outside of the facility, they're doing the treatment to try to get it right and as much as you can, but. Things happen, and those, the bones, when you sprain the ankle the way he did, it's going to be some pain there, and it's just a matter of the swelling and the lack of mobility. So to put him out there at 50% would be a disadvantage for us.
Did Kevin join the team for film session and team meetings today, and did he have any kind of message to the team that you can share?
Yes, he joined, but no, other than taking part as usual, and that's it.
Anything else? Sharp.
We saw a majority of your starters play pretty much most of the game last game. Will that be the case again? Will it be a do or die game, or will you still try to give your bench a chance to try to get some type of production this game?
No, I mean, they obviously played really well in the second half, and talk about the defensive numbers that we put up, but it was a lot to do with some of the guys that were banged up as well. And so Dorian got activated, Jeff got activated, but some of that was limitations to Aaron and Josh with the things they had going on with the back and the adductor, and so gave them a go. Didn't look great in the 3 minutes that they were out there, and so I went with another lineup, but they're better after the days of rest and some rehab, and hopefully they're looking better tonight, but they'll get the shot again.
How disappointing is where you guys are in the series, but also with Kevin not being able to play 3 of the first 4 games?
Yeah, the series for sure. I mean, the injuries happen, and you can, I feel like we could have overcome those. And, it's tough, like I said, at this point of the season to have that happen, but you're seeing it around the league a lot. Unfortunate injuries to a lot of teams, and Lakers are dealing with it as well, and other guys are stepping up. And so that part, is what it is. It's an unfortunate draw of the sport. But for us, I think the series in general, it's not what we expected, and we had our chances. And so when you look at a lot of the areas that we won and dominated in this series, really comes down to our starts have been poor, our first quarters, 33, 33, and 39, and then we kind of lock in there, and then our shooting struggles have really doomed us. But overall, other than that, we've done some really good things, and if you make some more shots and shoot not even average, just below average, we'd be in good shape.
Even with KDL, how important is it in moments like this to kind of evaluate your young guys and how they kind of respond, elimination game, back against the wall, those kind of things?
Yeah, I would say that's the case, and these first few have shown that, but throughout the season, even last year, you can lean on that as well. Outside of Reed, guys have kind of been through it now, not their first time, and so Reed's getting a kind of crash course there, but we expected that this season anyway, and he's done a great job in taking a jump. But for the others, we had a hard-fought 7-game series last year, and so that part is behind them. The mistakes we made at the end, regardless of, it wasn't just them. We had some veterans out there as well, and so got to learn from those, move on. That's why we touched base with it, showed it after the game, so we didn't linger for a few days, and we could move on and put it behind us. And so, yeah, that's the case. I think our young guys have taken steps throughout the year. If you look at everybody's growth, Albie being an all-star again, Reed, Jabari, Amen, taking noticeable leaps, and this is a big part of it as well, this playoff series.
To piggyback off that, because I was going to ask you something similar, but how do you use the experience of last year's series, the mistakes at the end of Game 3, as a learning point, and how do you kind of teach your team to take the failure from it and use that as motivation and fuel moving forward, and how to learn it?
Yeah, our backs were against the wall last year at 3-1, and pushed it to a 7-game series. As I said, we got into the series. It felt a little late with Golden State last year, and picked up some things in games 3, 4, 5, and or 4, 5, and 6. And so you can lean on that. In elimination games we did well. Went to their place and won one and forced a Game 7. And so been there, done that. Like I said about addressing the end of game situation, you want to hit it head on and not sweep it on the rug and have guys thinking about it all weekend where we're not meeting until today. And so we touched base on it. Guys saw what we could have done better, and obviously it's learning for the young guys, but we've gone through it enough this season with some of the ups and downs, and at this point we should be better at it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.